That was. Hold on. Okay, just finish it up.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun.
dun, 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 dun. Happy New Year from three guys and a bear.
We should
Talk
actually
about
get like
football.
next season. We should up the production value. Get an actual song. You know.
We can't have it get too close to the actual
That's
theme.
also true.
So
Yeah.
if we get an actual song, it needs to be like somebody randomly making us one of us, like three guys sitting right there, and we're talking about football.
No, all we gotta do is make a parody. Just list it as a parody, and there's no copyright issue.
I don't
There you
trust the NFL. The NFL can like bypass many copyright laws.
Well,
That's
then you
also
take-
true because they could be like, oh yeah, no, you're right. That might be fair use after 3 years in court. You guys got the money for 3 years in court.
I mean,
No, sir.
all you gotta do is just take like every other note and delete it, and then
There you go. Yeah.
Just play it in reverse.
Yeah.
It'd be perfect.
That would be the theme song for this season for all of us, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was
Breaking
just saying
news.
that opening line of Rob being like, "Da, da, da," it sounded so defeated, but yet a slight hope of victory.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, Jets, Jets.
Yeah. That's pretty much our motto, really. Honestly.
Breaking news: Coach Krendor, Mike McCarthy, set to interview for the Jets head coaching job.
Oh, well, I
Just-
mean,
Just posted.
a lot of interviews are happening right now. That's the big thing. Everybody's getting interviewed. We've interviewed, I think, Jim Caldwell, Chuck Pagano.
Oh no! Did you?
Yeah, but then we're also going to interview Josh McDaniels on Friday.
Oh boy.
The
God.
Northwestern Pat Fitzgerald, Northwestern guy. Apparently, that
Okay.
might be a big thing because he has ties to Mike Murphy.
All right.
So we're going all around, and honestly, I'm fine with that. If we interviewed like 20, 30 people and then pick one, pick the best one. There you go. Keep your options open.
I hope the
Reported
Jets do the
by
same thing.
Tom Pelissero, Mike McCarthy declined the Cardinals' advances recently, but that wasn't a sign that he has decided to take a year off, just looking for the right opportunity. Sam Darnold's presence is one big reason why the Jets could be intriguing to him.
Oh my,
Also true,
That
yeah.
just sounded like, I don't know about you, but that to me sounded like such a relationship thing. Like, I just don't think it's right now. And like, there's some things about you I don't like yet. And there's this other guy that's just like, he's
Testing
know.
the waters. It's not you, it's not me.
yeah.
Speaking of coaching interviews, you know who the Jets interviewed today too?
Who?
Todd fucking Monken, Syndic's
shit.
offensive coordinator.
Yep. Yep. I
That's
was
going
hoping
to
that you
be
were going
one
to say Todd Bowles.
high-scoring, turnover-prone offense.
Hey man, that sounds kind of perfect for Sam Darnold, to be honest with you, if you
Yeah.
describe it that way. But also, they had the third best offense in football with like a 5-11 record or whatever it is the Bucks record is.
Yep.
So
That's the Bucks.
Mhm.
Thank you, Rob.
And I'm sure without Jameis Winston, it'd be even better. But that's not gonna be the case next year because Jameis Winston is their quarterback, according to the Buccaneers front office.
yeah. But again, we established this last week that they can take that option on him and not have to worry about like a dead cap hit, so they can just cut his ass as long as they're not giving him an extension. Which
You
I
know
don't
what they
think
should
are
do? They
yet.
should put a dead cap in his dead ass.
There
Well,
it is.
whenever the next coach comes in, I'm sure he's the one that's going to be making that decision, or in some fashion he'll be involved in that decision. I would imagine.
Okay, so we have a very unique situation here because this is probably the last time coach is ever going to be in the same like field of discussion with a Jets fan and a Bucks fan, being a Packers fan coach.
Yeah,
But
I'll be out of here next year.
if you could snap your fingers and have your dream coach that's a realistic pick that's currently available right now, who do you guys take?
Honestly, I would take Vic Fangio, the Bears defensive coordinator. One, because they would be stealing a rival team's like one of their top coordinators. Two, I think he would just run the defense like a defensive minded coach, and he'd be like, Aaron, do whatever you want. Just get you some shit. You can run the offense. And then we'd have a high-powered mind on both sides. We'd practically have 2 coaches out there.
There you
and
go.
then, boom. I would love that. I think that would be amazing. That's what I would do.
I don't know how realistic it is because it's so shrouded in so many other different things. But Jim Harbaugh is kind of my go-to. I would love to have Jim Harbaugh to come in here and be our coach, because I think the Todd Bowles years have shown a little bit, at least, that a coach without passion fighting in as the head coach in New York, it doesn't work. I think we need somebody. And look, I know I'm probably the only one in the Jets fandom who actually still has pretty positive feelings on Rex Ryan, but oh man, I loved him shitting on people in the media. I thought that was hilarious and great, and I want that, or at least I want the fire back. Because there's the clip that has been reposted on the Jets subreddit recently where when we won our first playoff game under Rex, he goes into the locker room and he's like, well, you know what they're going to say in the media? We talked about it all week. 3 home teams advance and the fucking New York Jets. And I love it. I love it. I want it back. And Jim Harbaugh's got fire and passion, and I like that.
I mean, Harbaugh would be a pretty good fit for the Jets, I think, but that doesn't feel like a short-term, like, sweeping change type thing for them. That would be like, I could see them not doing anything for this season. Then the next season really is when Darnold and Harbaugh start clicking and firing off some pretty big wins.
Maybe.
That's just, I mean, it's just all speculation, of course.
What about the Bucks? Who would you want?
Well, Coach, if I had to pick, honestly, I think that I would prefer to have someone like Mike McCarthy out of anyone there. McDaniels is also not a bad pick for me, but like McCarthy, at least he's eager to get a new system installed to a team that has potential. And he is someone who I think is good. He's a good enough coach to where he doesn't have to be a player coach to keep the locker room, and he can still run his own game. So I know that, with how everything ended in Green Bay for him, I think he's going to be even more eager to fire something back up and start rebuilding another team. So I think that he'd be a good fit. I'd pick McCarthy. Probably second would be McDaniels. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a no-nonsense guy, and I feel like the Buccaneers have a lot of nonsense, so they could use somebody to just come in and clean that all up.
The Tampa Bay buck of nonsense, Coach.
Well, at least you're not the Steelers.
That's true, too. But another interesting thing before we get into... Well, we can start going over games. John Gruden and now Mike Mayock are a combo.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. I like Mike Mayock.
I love Mike Mayock, and so I'm happy for him, but also that's so weird.
Yeah, it is really weird.
It's so weird. But I really like Mike Mayock, although I am kind of sad that I'm not going to get him for draft coverage this year now.
Yeah, I know. I always like his
his
draft coverage.
Yeah, he's great. Him and Rich Eisen have just such great chemistry, and I also love Rich Eisen, but maybe he's going to be the host this year.
Yeah,
I imagine he would.
And our draft analyst, Jason Witten. He'll be
yeah. There you go.
I like football. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, but that'll be interesting. John Gruden already quoted as saying, if it's a good trade, I'll be making the calls. If it's a bad trade, it'll be Mayock.
Oh, that Chucky.
Yep.
I think he's turned around the hearts of some people in the league after that really rocky start because he is still John Gruden. He's still a funny guy. So if they get success within the next 2 years, then I think people will end up being pretty positive on him.
That's what I was saying last week. Was that as much of a joke that Gruden was in the whole circus that was Oakland this season. Towards the end of the season, people are like, Gruden's that starting to look like a pretty good pickup. They're showing what the Raiders are capable of when they actually try, and they're not trying to tank games and stuff. But the Raiders are going to be scary. I said it last week. I think that people are seeing it here, even if they go to a different state. I think that the pieces that Gruden has now been pushing into motion, just using this season to kind of flush down everything else he doesn't like, it's going to pay off for him. I think next year it's going to be rough to fight the Raiders wherever they land.
I agree.
Did you read my thing? Well, I maybe probably did, but it was making me realize the Chargers would probably be a better fit for Vegas than the Raiders would be.
Yeah, absolutely.
They would accept them with open arms. They'd be very good right off the bat. And I mean, they're still like Oakland fans, right? The Chargers don't have like anybody there because it's LA and it's all like San Diego people. You got to drive up there. Yeah. So it's I don't know. I think that probably would have been but
and then the other thing is that the Oakland fans fucking love the Raiders. Like they love that team. That's like that's their team. So it sucks to see him, be stripped away from them. Mm-hmm. But I mean, especially since next year apparently they're not going to play in the stadium at all.
Yeah.
So
and they'll just move the Chargers to Oakland then. It's like a big rotation.
There was a rumor, well, not a rumor. I mean, this is a legitimate thing, but the Raiders next year were looking at playing all their home games in Tottenham, or Tottenham. I don't know how you say it in England.
Oh no.
But basically, like the reason that I say it's not technically a rumor since they are looking at that, but they're looking at like every stadium. Like they're talking to all stadiums all over the place to find out where they can play their home games. So technically, yes, they are looking into it, but the likelihood of it happening is low, I think.
Yeah. Well, and then our other big news is Antonio Brown, very mad and wants to get traded.
What the hell, dude? Do you guys know the story of what happened in that Week 17 game?
I do not. Please tell.
I'll quickly break it down for you because I think this will color your opinion on this man.
Yeah, there was some strangeness. Take it away, Rob.
So basically Antonio Brown in the week leading up to the Week 17 game, which by the way, remember, the playoffs are on the line in Week 17 for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Brown was not injured. He wasn't like hurt. He didn't get benched by Mike Tomlin for any specific reason. What happened was he got into a fight purportedly with Ben Roethlisberger. It got apparently extremely heated, and his locker was set up and ready to go for Sunday, and he just didn't play. He just said, "I'm not gonna play." He showed up on the sidelines in a fur coat, and then left at halftime.
What the shit?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is going on in Pittsburgh? Again, that's the playoffs are on the line. I think if the Steelers won that game, it didn't matter what happened with the Ravens and Browns, right? Like they just
they needed the Ravens to lose.
Oh, they needed because the Steelers
won anyway.
Didn't. Yeah, right. You're right. Yeah, but still,
they lost.
Yeah, no, I mean, still, that's just. I'll be honest. Like, if they were trading him, I don't know if I'd want him on the team. As good as he is, that's some
another Terrell Owens drama, diva type thing.
You can't have someone on the team that is just willing to just show up and then just leave without any. Like no call, no show, like no job. That's how it goes in any place that I've ever worked at. And Roethlisberger was reported saying that Antonio Brown has apparently not answered any of his calls or texts since the game.
Ben Roethlisberger seen driving around frantically calling people.
Yeah, he was seen putting up Antonio Brown flowers. Flyers like stapled to every single like Blockbuster video out there.
Yeah, no, that's a big and the other drama that they had with Le'Veon. Like I've been on the side of Le'Veon the whole time, honestly, where I'm just like, you know what, he wants to get paid. I don't blame him personally. That's how I felt about the whole Le'Veon situation. Is that like they're jerking him around. He wants a long-term deal. He wants to know that he can continue to live through whatever injuries or whatever a running back can sustain. I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that. But this is this is a different animal. Like, he specifically did that to hurt 52 other players on the roster. That's fucked up. That is definitely not a team player kind of move.
Ben Roethlisberger quoted by saying, "I'm blessed to play with him. I consider him one of my closest friends. I know guys are frustrated. Some of the guys I talked to, that they tried to reach out to him and didn't hear back. I'm obviously not the coach or the owner, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. But like I said, I love Antonio, and I just wish him nothing but the best. I hope he's back here with me because he makes me better."
There's the classic PR answer.
Yep.
But then we've got ex-Steeler Ryan Clark saying, AB turned into a monster when he got paid. Recalls near fight with Brown soon after. He was screaming at Coach LeBeau, screaming at us, "Don't touch me. I'm the franchise," this and that. Mike Tomlin has put his foot down.
Don't touch me. I'm the franchise. If those were actual words that he uttered, get him the fuck out, dude.
Oh, he said it too.
Yeah. That's when you need that SpongeBob meme where he's bending over like a chicken and everything is there. Don't touch me, I'm the franchise.
Like, if this was said a few weeks ago, I'd be like, all right, I don't know. But the fact that this all happened and then that came out, it's like, oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
that definitely happened.
There's some wild shit going on in Pittsburgh.
Steelers, dude. I don't know.
It's weird too, because Mike Tomlin is another guy that I've actually defended to people on the internet. Which, to be honest, I don't think I need to. The guy's literally never had a losing season. Like, as a head coach, he has never had a losing season. I don't know how anyone needs to defend him. That said, there's a lot of fucking drama in Pittsburgh every year for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on there, and I would probably place that blame squarely on the coach on that front. So
let's head on over to the score reviews, Coach, because we had a pretty interesting end to our pick'ems.
That we did.
As the season progressed.
So some games were trash heaps, such as the Lions 31, Packers nothing.
How do you feel about that one, Coach?
Well, normally I would not care because it's the last game of the season. It doesn't matter. But Aaron Rodgers got a concussion because he was like, "I'm playing," and they're like, "Just start Kaiser." And then he played, got a concussion, and Kaiser played. And I was like, "Why? Just sit down." Like, okay, whatever. So maybe it knocked some sense into him for next year. We'll see. But Kaiser looked like Brett Hundley, but worse. So that wasn't good. So I don't know about that one. We might need some like veteran backup or something.
Hey, I believe that there's one Fitzpatrick who's going to be available.
Hey, I'll take him as a backup. He can come in and throw some magic every game or two. Aaron Rodgers can start.
Actually, I think he's probably like top 3 best backups in the league because you don't know what he's going to do. He might come in and fucking stomp the other team for your game.
And unlike the Bucs,
we know what
if he does bad, we'll just put in Aaron Rodgers instead of Jameis Winston, and everything will be okay.
Yep, thanks, Coach. For the record, Coach Crendor has given up and picked the tie. Everyone else picked the Packers, which got us a loss. Which, by the way, I got to tout really quickly. My 82.4% winning percentage this week, Coach. That's something the coaches would be proud of right there. 82%.
Yeah, it was really bad. Granted, Devontae Adams did not play as well, so that's kind of big, especially since Devontae Adams finished the season behind only Antonio Brown, I think, in receiving touchdowns. He had 15. Adams had 13, tied with Eric Ebron on Indianapolis. So, I mean...
That is an absurd amount of...
Yeah, that is a major amount of production.
Honestly, yeah.
He was literally our receiving core. Like, probably 75% of our receiving core was Devontae Adams. So, we need some help. Or we need younger guys to grow up. Dude, Kumaro, he looks like me if I was an athlete. Yeah. I like him a lot for that reason, and I hope he does well.
We established that last week too, Coach.
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm telling you, but he's still going on. He's still looking pretty good. I think if he stays healthy next year, he'll probably be our 3 or 4 wide receiver. I'm happy with that. Cobb will probably get cut. He is pretty sad. He's hugging Aaron Rodgers like it was their last game. It kind of sucks for Cobb because he came in the year after we won the Super Bowl, And then he's like, "Oh, this will be another one easy." And then I was like, "Well, okay." But yeah, that was our season. Thank God we lost. We secured the 12th pick in the draft, which is our highest draft pick since we picked 9th in 2009, I think, when we took B.J. Raji, which was pretty good because he helped us win the Super Bowl. And he did a funny dance when he scored against the Bears. That was fun.
Yeah, now then he was doing the discount double check stuff.
Yeah. Dude, B.J. Raji had like the best career. He made the Pro Bowl, won a Super Bowl all in like 5 years, and then he just retired. He's like, fuck it, I'm done. And I was like, hey, all right.
Yeah, that does sound pretty nice.
Yeah. So that was the Packers. We also had the Jets, who had a similar experience, but they got 3 points.
Yep. We got 3. We got good old 3 points. Honestly, like if I was Todd Bowles in this game, I'd be like, hey, Locke, who's our punter, Lachlan Edwards, you're not playing today. We're going for every 4th down. Fuck it. This is my last head coaching spot or head coached game for the Jets. We're going all in. We're beating fucking Tom Brady. Didn't happen. And of course, Bill Belichick is still undefeated against rookies in Foxborough. So, I
mean, you were alone in picking the Jets because you're a Jets fan. Is the only reason why.
Yeah, that's the only reason I picked them.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, it's a bummer because not because we lost. I'm happy that we lost, but because Sam didn't look particularly great. But again, the reason that rookie quarterbacks have such a shit time in Foxborough is because they play rookies specifically, like with all these disguised coverages, just to fuck with them because they know they can get an easy win out of it. Yeah. That said, Sam didn't look awful. He just didn't look, great.
Yeah.
His 16 to 28, 167 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, 74 rating. It's fine. It's like a manager stat line. It's nothing fancy. But
and the most important thing, you secured the 3rd overall pick.
Exactly, which is what I'm real fucking happy about. So we're in position at number 3 to hopefully if there are offers available and Nick Bosa is not on the board, trade down. That is my hope. I would love for us to trade down to like 7 with Jacksonville or even 6 with the Giants. Even 5. I mean, if you guys want if you guys want a QB or something, yeah, I would love to trade down into any of those spots. That would be lovely, and pick up a second rounder, maybe a couple second rounders. That would be dope. But
I mean, I don't know what the Bucs are going to do for the draft because I don't know how they're sticking with Jameis. I really don't.
Well, in fairness, this year's quarterback depth looks pretty terrible.
Yeah, it does.
Pretty much Dwayne Haskins, and that's it.
And I've heard, what's the other one's name? There's another one, Drew Lock.
Oh, yeah.
They've said they probably shouldn't go in the first round, but because there's no quarterbacks, they probably will go in the first round.
Yeah,
it's one of those types of
that's prime
things.
pickings for us Bucs fans, Coach.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
according to this, the Jets could take Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Prime Pat. I think it'd be funny to see Josh Allen sack Josh Allen.
I mean, that would be hilarious, and I would love it for the memes. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys personally. Like, I would riot if we take a defensive player in the first round again. Because remember, leading up to last year, that we had picked a defensive player with our first round pick for, I believe, 8 straight fucking years. Literally my entire time as a Jets fan, I had only seen them pick defensive players in the first round. And then we picked Sam Darnold, and I'm very happy about that. But if we start fucking doing that again, and that defensive player is not named Nick Bosa, I'm out, dude. Fuck that. Sam needs fucking help. We can't stop. We can't keep ignoring offense. We can't keep doing it.
The problem this year is that a lot of the top 10 players are defensive players.
Yeah.
So either you take one or you do trade down and just hope you fall into like
if it makes
someone
you
else.
feel any better, Rob, on many mock drafts they have Josh Allen going to the New York Jets in round 1.
Yep. I see that. I mean, pass rusher is a big need. It's arguably the second most important position in football.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it is the kind of situation where it's like, what the fuck do I know? But at the same time, I have seen us take defense first round over and over and over again, and it has literally never worked. Outside of Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams has been pretty good. I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
So, there was that, but I really hope that we can manage to trade down and get something on offense. Like, get Sam something, he needs it.
I think you need to spend your 2 through 5 picks on offense. Like, you can get that pass rusher and be like, all right, we got pass rusher, and then probably everything else get like a second round offensive lineman, third round wide receiver or something. Like, I think you could probably do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Last year, it looks like you took Darnold. Then second round. No, you didn't have a second rounder. Third round, you took a defensive lineman, which was Nathan Shepard.
Yep, he's been a bit of a disaster, to be honest.
All right. Chris Herndon in the 4th round. That seems pretty
fantastic,
all right.
actually.
Yeah. Perry Nickerson in the 6th round.
Good, but hasn't seen the field that much because Todd Bowles is a terrible coach.
All right. Well, he's got room to grow then.
Yep.
Then Foley Fatukasi.
Yeah, I think he might be cut.
Okay. Trenton Cannon, running back, 6th round.
I actually like Trenton Cannon quite a bit, but they haven't been playing him as much or in the way that I think he should be played. And he's had a couple of drops and fumbles this year, but
so it's mainly been Darnold and Herndon overall. Okay.
Like Herndon's been great, like legitimately great. Like, I think he's flown way under the radar. He's like 5th tight end in the league this year in yardage, which is crazy. Yeah. So he's legitimately pretty good, and if we get good coaching and good offense going, then next year he could be a big deal. So I'm very happy about him.
Well, I'll save we'll have our draft show and talk about all that. So
Mm-hmm. We gotta get a move on, Coach.
Let's move it on to the Buccaneers, who lost 34-32, securing the 5th pick in the NFL draft.
Can't wait, Coach. We finally did something positive here at the end of the season. Buccaneers, as I predicted, would lose to the Falcons at home because, well, that's just what happens with the Bucs. And I'm looking forward to the draft. I think that we can make some pretty big plays. I seriously doubt that we'll actually get a quarterback because I don't think that I would hope that at least Jason Licht has some sort of sense about him. But Jason Licht being the Bucs GM, by the way, which was somehow miraculously not fired after we sent Cotter to that great old horse grinding machine in the sky, Coach.
Yep.
I think that Licht should have followed him, but apparently the Bucs are sticking with Winston to everyone's surprise. I don't understand how there's Bucs fans coming out of the woodwork saying that, oh, it's not Winston's fault, it's the coach's fault, or he was injured, or he took a Lyft instead of an Uber one day. No, it's Winston's fault. He's terrible. He's terrible.
Yeah.
He's absolutely terrible. You want to know? You want to know what Jameis Winston's record is?
Okay.
In the NFL since he's been with the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
He is, I can't find it right now, but it's not good.
All right.
I had it up and then I closed the tab. Now I can't find it anymore.
Well, it's good for the Bucs because I think this is the highest they've picked in a while, right? Top
pretty
5
much since Winston.
Yep. Since Winston, pretty much.
So, I mean, that should help. Will it help if they pick bad players? No, but it's hard to pick bad players in the top 5 usually.
It's
but it has
so
happened.
weird with them. Like, I don't know. You got to know. I think you only know what they're gonna do when they bring in their coach. Because I don't know what the hell happens with Jameis Winston. But honestly, I do want to say I am the guy that says win percentage should not be attributed to the quarterback. However, the rest of his stats are not not good either. So there's kind of no. I don't know. There's no real saving for Jameis Winston, in my opinion. I think they can keep him a year and put him on a prove it deal while they go on to a full rebuild with a new coach. But other than that, I don't see what you do with Jameis.
Yeah, he just feels like a head case, and you would be like, hey, maybe he'll improve, but then it feels like he's kind of just really dumb and too dumb to improve.
Yeah,
so you're like,
I
don't know.
got the stats, by the way. Finally,
okay.
I was able to re-find that tab. So in 4 seasons, now that the 2018 season is officially over for the Buccaneers, Jameis Winston, the Jameis Uber, I need to go Winston. In 54 games is 21-33.
Yeah.
I also think it's important to note his best year was his second year at 9-7, and he's actually regressed since that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of worrisome.
He's quite bad, and to the people saying it's not the quarterback's fault, show me one positive thing Jameis Winston has done.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of stuff to put in.
Here's a fun fact: in Jameis Winston's 2 best years, he threw a combined 50 touchdowns, which Pat Mahomes has done in 1 year. That's kind of a little fun fact.
Which, by the way,
less interceptions.
And Jameis Winston was on the 3rd best offense in the league. The same one that Ryan Fitzpatrick was fucking, impaling people on.
Yep, and it's Jason Lake's only win that he can tout is that he is the one who drafted Mike Evans. But it's Mike Evans and then also Aguayo, who Jason Lake also should have carved on his tombstone.
Wait, he's still the GM after that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's a big oof for me, John.
Yeah, that's a huge... So I've defended my own GM on my subreddit, but that is, I feel, very indefensible.
Yeah, that's a big mark on the track record.
Yep, and Jason Lake said that Winston will be back for the 2019 season, and they're looking to keep him around.
Okay, so
quoted
really
Jason
dumb. Lake. Is what it sounds like.
That's the reason why I was saying I can't believe he's still here. He is the one who hired Dirk Cotter.
Oh,
he is the one who hired him. He's the one who hired Lovie Smith.
Yeah,
yeah.
So that's Tampa Bay Buccaneers coach.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I'm sorry.
Maybe it'll go better.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. All 4 of us picked the Bucks or picked the Falcons. By the way, for the record, although Krendor did pick the Bucks along with Bear. So it was really just 2 of us, me and Rob.
Yeah, I mean, they almost won and ruined their draft chances, but hey. So what else we had? We had the Bills destroying the Dolphins. And the Bills actually
demolishing them.
Yeah, they look pretty good. And I mean, Josh Allen played well. He almost ran for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, threw for 224, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Kyle Williams had a catch in his final game. That was kind of cool to see. I still think the Bills, like, if they just get some more stuff around Josh Allen and maybe like another defensive player or 2, like they can be pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm about ready. I'm not there yet, but I'm about ready to eat crow on Josh Allen. Like I think he's proven everybody wrong, honestly.
And who would have thought after the start that the Bills had that they would have a better record than the 3-0 Buccaneers?
Yep. That is very true. The Bills will be picking 9th in this draft, which is pretty good. And they can do a lot of things at number 9. You get an offensive lineman, protect Josh Allen. You can get some other defensive things. So we'll see. Dolphins, on the other hand. Yeah. Dolphins lost and still will be picking 13th. Yeah. Ryan Tannehill looked bad. All their running backs looked bad. Their defense looked bad.
And they fired Adam Gase. Gase is out.
They fired Adam Gase, yep. So they need a new coach.
After he got fired, by the way, there was some minor drama in Miami because a lot of there were lots of rumors about players fucking hating Adam Gase. Specifically, Jarvis Landry wanted out because he hated Adam Gase. And one of the rumors, which has been refuted but not by the player in question, one of the rumors was that Frank Gore spoke privately about him disliking Adam Gase. And if Frank, the pure football god that he is, Gore, says something bad about you, you're fucking out, bro. That's it. It's Frank Gore.
It's hard to make that guy mad.
For real. Like, he has been the consummate professional forever. Now, again, like I said, it has since been refuted by someone else, but I don't think Frank Gore specifically spoke on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty wild if that happened.
Yeah, for the record, all 4 of us picked the Bills, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Giants and Cowboys was the next game, and the Cowboys barely won that one.
That was
kind of crazy.
Yeah. That was a great game.
Yeah, and I mean, again, the number 1 receiver for the Cowboys, Blake Jarwin, 119 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Ezekiel Elliott did not play. That's also important to note there.
Which is what swayed y'all's pick away from the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But not,
Giants almost won that. And I mean, you look at these stats. You know who the top 2 receivers were for the Giants? Of course, Evan Engram and Cody Latimer.
Mm-hmm. Well, OBJ was gone.
Yeah, he was.
I gotta say a couple things. Well, one, Eli did win that game, and then Dak Prescott came in and won it harder. So I don't entirely put that loss on Eli or the Giants entirely, because it was a really good game. But also, if I'm in the playoffs right now, I'm kind of spooked by Dallas, baby. They're pretty scary, to be honest with you. Zeke Elliott, that good defense, and honestly, when Dak is put in a position, he can make plays.
Yeah,
so
he'll be playing Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be a good game.
Those are the 2 spookiest teams right now. But
yeah,
they're playing. They're just playing to see who's going to get mauled by New Orleans, pretty much.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, Dallas beat New Orleans. You never know.
True.
The Bucks also beat New Orleans.
This is also true. So then we also had and apparently Dwayne Haskins, the Ohio State quarterback, is mocked to the Giants at number 6.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be their future quarterback, possibly.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. Next up, we had the Panthers beating the Saints, who did not start Drew Brees.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm
sure wish we would have known that before we made our picks last week.
That would have been nice to know.
Yeah, I locked
Teddy
him in,
Bridgewater.
by the way.
Yeah, you did lock him in.
Yeah.
Bridgewater, 14 of 22, 118 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick. Not very good, but he's a backup.
Yeah, and he's playing with backups too. Although Michael Thomas actually had 5 receptions in the game, so for some reason they played him.
Yeah. And the Panthers started Kyle Allen.
Yep.
Who went 16 of 27, 228 yards, 2 TDs. I don't even know who Kyle Allen is.
Do you guys think that Cam is done?
No.
No, but he definitely needs surgery or something.
Yeah,
there time to heal.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's happening there.
I feel like, as someone who pays attention to the NFC South, I feel like if this is not Cam's last hurrah, this is the second to last hurrah. Because if he might, I give him, if he's not completely done with the Panthers or football in general after this season, I think that he's got one more season in Carolina, and that's it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why do you say
How long is
that?
his contract?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I have no idea what his current contract is, but everyone in Carolina has pretty much lost faith in Cam, especially after the monumentous, terrible losing streak that the Panthers were on. They went on a winning streak. They went on a losing streak.
I think it's just because he's injured, though.
Yeah. He's signed until 2020, by the way. So next year...
He's got next season is the contract year then.
Yeah.
It'll depend on how he plays next year. If he heals up and still plays bad, I'd be like, all right, that's not good. But if he heals up and does pretty well.
I'll be honest, though, personally, granted, I'm not in the division, so I don't see him play all the time. But, from the stuff I've seen of Cam Newton, I think he's done more than enough to say that he deserves the job there. But that said, he's now going to be 30 next season, and he's going to start, getting slower. And I'm sure he already is slower. And honestly, the one big thing with his game is that he hasn't been the most prolific passer, but he's just been so physically talented with his legs and how, he looks like a fucking linebacker.
Yeah.
Like in running people over, that he's been able to get away with that. But if that starts going away, which I think it will, because it kind of always does.
It already is even. Like looking at these stats, his first year in the league, 2011, he had 700 yards and 14 touchdowns rushing. Then he had 741 yards, 8 touchdowns. Then 6 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns. Then the Super Bowl season, 636 yards, 10 touchdowns. And since then, 350 yards, 5 touchdowns. 750 yards, 6 touchdowns. And then this year, 488 yards, 4 touchdowns. So it's starting to like dip, and then his arm's going with that. So he's still good, but he's not what he was when he was Super Bowl came.
And he takes stupid hits all the time, like constantly. And that's just going to wear him out even more. So, I mean, I like Cam Newton. I hope he keeps playing, and I hope he plays well. But I think they really got to focus on getting his passing up to snuff in order for him to continue to compete. Because, and I think they've retained Ron Rivera, but I'm not sure that's the guy that can do it, because I think this offseason is very important in making him that better passer. Because it's starting to be a thing where he's not gonna have his legs anymore, or at least not to the degree that he did.
Yeah, it's gonna be run through Christian McCaffrey. That'll be the new look Panthers going forward. So yeah, that happened, and let's see. The Panthers will pick. Where do they pick? They lost a lot.
They are picking
16th. Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
They're 7-9, so just mediocre enough to get a shitty pick.
That's usually the Packer bad seasons where I'm like, damn, you like lose the first round. You're like, guess we pick like 19th or something. So let's see. Next up, we had the Texans beating the Jaguars. I had hoped the Jaguars could pull off some sort of upset, and then, they're the Jaguars, so they didn't. And who started for the Jaguars, by the way?
Bordy boy.
Oof, that's not good for Bort.
That's a pretty god-awful stat line. Yeah, that's
15, 28, 107, and a pick. That's worthy of the Jaguars drafting a quarterback in the first round.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Again, I've defended Blake Bortles many times, but I mean, I get it. Especially they're picking 7. They could. I hope they are thinking, I want to make a move ahead of the Giants. And who's the perfect spot to make a move to? Well, hey, number 3, boys, come and get it. Come on up,
Coach.
Coach, we gotta get to the Minnesota game so we can trash on Rob.
Oh yeah, good. Eagles, Big Dick Nick destroyed the Redskins. Redskins shut out Eagles. Nick Foles did take a hit, got injured, but he's gonna be okay apparently.
Yep.
That was a must-win game for Philly. So
yes. They just needed the Vikings to lose, which we're getting there. Chargers beat the Broncos. That was pretty much expected. Vance Joseph's out again, as we expected.
I'm
Chiefs,
sure everyone in Denver is celebrating.
Yep, I would be too. Chiefs destroyed the Raiders again, expected. Bears beat the Vikings.
Bears.
They did.
I watched this game as well. And it was
part of it.
I was part of it.
It was pretty much everything I expected.
Yeah.
Bears defense just strong, a lot of running, just running through the Minnesota defense, who just doesn't look like they did last year. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's injuries. I don't know.
I mean, we were looking at the beginning of the season that the Vikings would be the clear favorite going into that division.
Yeah.
And here we are with
the Bears.
Rob's boy, Kirk Cousins. Beautiful job, Rob.
I mean, he's
fire.
playing against one of the best, if not the best, defense in football this year. So I mean, and also, it's not like he turned the ball over a million times. He had 1 touchdown and 132 yards.
Now, I would say that, but here's the problem: the Bears in the second half, at some point, put in the second stringers, and they still could not
Yeah,
move the ball. And it was like, it was getting pretty sad. So I was like, who's that guy in the Bears? They're like, Ray Don Johnson. And I'm like, I've never heard of him. Like, up, sack Cousins, up, broken up. They can't do it. And I'm like, dude, the Vikings are just imploding, dude.
They have the
can't do
most
anything.
boring running game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dalvin
The
Cook
Vikings.
was just doing nothing. I guess Murray had a couple of okay rushes. It was just, I felt bad for them. Then I remembered they're in our division and I don't like them, and then it just felt great. So yeah, Vikings don't make the playoffs. Big Dick Nick and the Eagles getting in, and they take on the Bears the first week
Yep.
Yeah.
of the playoffs. So I think that's gonna be a good game.
One good game, Coach.
If there's anybody that can take down the Bears defense, it's got to be Big Dick Nick.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, Bears fans. I know you don't want a one and done after such a long period of time, but I need it. I need Big Dick Nick in the Super Bowl. It would be so good.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me check my 10-day weather forecast here.
right.
Saturday. It's gonna be like 45 degrees.
Okay.
Just not too cold.
It's like a sunny, balmy day in
Yeah.
Chicago in January.
It'll be
Yeah.
sunny on Saturday, and I think that's when they're playing. Mostly cloudy Sunday. So I mean, hey, it's just like a mild, cool, mild day. I mean, nothing too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So sorry, Vikings. Skull.
Ripperine.
There we go. Somebody's gonna freeze. Listen, I had to watch this shitty ass Packer team. All right. And the Ravens beat the Browns in thrilling fashion.
Killed my
Yeah.
lock, Coach. They
Yeah.
killed my lock. After
Yeah.
the first half, I was like, okay, well. And then the Browns did the impossible.
Yeah.
Charging back, scaring the Ravens at home with possible playoff implications for the Browns themselves, by the way.
Mhm.
It was fantastic. I could not be more excited for the Browns next season.
Yeah. I'm
Yep.
pumped for them too.
I think it's gonna be Ravens Browns for like a few years now. Like
Yeah, it
these
might
look
be,
like
yeah.
the teams of the future.
The
Especially
Browns,
with the Pittsburgh implosion.
Yeah.
well, and the
and-
Bungles have regressed back to whatever they're doing now, especially
They
after
went back to the
finally-
90s.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, by the way, we didn't mention this in the news. So Marvin Lewis finally got fired after 16 years.
Yep.
So that's a big deal. However, on his way out the door, he had a very public endorsement of Hugh Jackson as the next head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Here's the thing. I don't think Marvin Lewis is a bad coach. I think he's kind of
I
got
don't
a
think so either.
like a Mike McCarthy situation to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
I think he helped. Like they used to be the Browns.
Yeah,
they were the Browns.
He helped
and
put
then
the
he took
Bengals
them
at least
and-
back on the radar for a lot
Yeah,
of
he
seasons.
took them. He got them to the playoffs, even though they never won. But there's some games they should have won.
Yep.
Like he got them off the map again as a good team, and then I think it's just kind of stagnated at this point. But they need somebody that isn't Hugh Jackson because they still have like a decent team. Like there's Andy Dalton, Tyler Eifert, like AJ Green.
AJ
Like there's
Green's
still a
still a
lot of
monster.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean they get some draft picks and free agents, but Hugh Jackson there. I don't know about that one.
If I'm a fan of Cincinnati, like if they finally fire Marvin Lewis and then Hugh Jackson is the next head coach, I think that would be it. Honestly, I think that would be it for me. I would be
Yeah.
like, I can't do it. I cannot do it anymore. I can't handle this fandom.
Now, we should going back to the Browns and the Ravens really quickly here. We should mention that Baker Mayfield put up 376 and 3-3 against that Baltimore Ravens defense, which is
Yep.
impressive in and of itself, but especially considering that Chubb got shut down for the entire game.
Yeah.
Chubb
Yeah.
was a non-factor, and Baker showed that he can actually do an Aaron Rodgers-esque type win of taking it down and just stuffing the defense, going right to the end zone. It was impressive.
And not just that, he is now also he's got the record for the most touchdowns in a rookie season, by the way.
Yeah,
So,
which is
another
pretty
one.
awesome.
yeah, another one that I feel very validated about, yelling on Reddit to hundreds of people for several months about like,
Look, Rob, if you yell about every rookie quarterback, you're going to be right a couple right.
Baker Mayfield, he drinks alcohol. He's gonna be bad.
He smoked a marijuana once.
Literally every statistical and analytical point pointed through to Baker Mayfield not only being good, but seriously one of the highest graded ever. If pre-draft, by the way, I should mention. And again, important to note, I still have I still feel very strongly that we have no idea which one of these rookie QBs is going to be good and which one's going to be bad. I still think we don't know. I mean, Sam looked pretty good this year. He could be terrible. We don't know. Baker looked great this year. He could be terrible. We actually don't know. Yeah, I mean, it could be. I put him pretty highly too. So, we'll never know until a couple of years from now.
For the record, everyone picked the Browns except for Coach, who dastardly went with the Ravens.
Monster.
I locked in the Browns 4 weeks in a row.
Actual monster.
So yeah, but yeah, the Ravens still looking scary. I mean, even though you would think they'd almost lose to the Browns and be like, what are the Ravens doing? But like, this is a pretty good Browns team. So you're like, all right, like they held them off. Like that's pretty solid. And Lamar Jackson still had 90 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing, 179 yards through the air. Kenneth Dixon with 117 yards, Gus Edwards 76 yards. They just pound the ball, dude. Like
I can 100% see this playoff run being very good for the Ravens because so far it seems like nobody knows how to stop that Lamar Jackson led offense. So I mean, we'll have to see in the playoffs, but they could roll through some teams. I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Yep. Then we had the Rams beat the 49ers, which again, expected. 49ers will pick second, I believe. Yep, they picked second. Steelers beat the Bengals barely. Barely. I actually thought the Bengals were going to win that game for a little bit, which
it looked like they were going to.
Yeah, that was something.
It was an ugly game, Coach Jeff.
It
Jeff
was.
Driscoll. I don't remember the last time I saw an NFL quarterback put up less like a double-digit total in an entire game. I really don't.
Yeah, that is. And Roethlisberger's still 31 of 45. Like that's so many passes.
Yeah,
and he's passing to James Washington, Eli Rogers. Like I haven't even heard of these guys. Jalen Samuels. Like I don't know, man.
It seems very unbalanced, especially considering that James Conner still had 4.6 yards per carry. But I mean, granted, I didn't see the whole game, so I mean, maybe he was getting stuffed.
Well, he only rushed 14 times though, too. It was
that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like, why are you? I mean, I know you're behind, but at the same time, why are you throwing that much in like even the beginning of the second half when you can?
Well, Roethlisberger is just trying to win over Antonio Brown back, obviously.
I guess so.
Yeah,
it's one of those "you complete me" sort of thing, probably.
Then the Seahawks barely beat the Cardinals, which is kind of weird. I was like, Cardinals, do you want to pick number one? Or like,
that was so weird. Yeah, they were really fighting hard for that one.
They needed to make at least something happen in that game. But we successfully picked the rest of the picks except for one game, which was surprisingly not as close as I would have thought it would have been. But
yeah, Colts Titans. The battle for the playoff berth.
Yeah.
And the Colts took it, but I kind of felt bad for the Titans. Like Mariota was injured. They kept getting injuries throughout the game, and it was just like getting kicked while they're down. It was just like, well, they're going to lose. And they're just like, maybe there's still hope. And it's like, nah, Blaine Gabbert's your quarterback. It's over.
Yeah, he's never going to bring you back, honestly.
Yeah.
Still, we got to say that Derrick Henry is an absolute hoss.
Oh, yeah.
Henry is crazy good. Yeah.
93 yards on 16 carries. Like
some of the tackles he was breaking. I actually watched the majority of that game, and like Derrick Henry was just like tossing people aside. He reminded me of like old school like fullbacks and stuff. It was great.
Yeah,
it's great to see somebody who's 250 pounds just mowing over people, and then like out juking people too. Like he's scary. He's playing for a contract, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he could be the like future of their offense.
Yep.
Also, I mean, I know I've been saying this every week, but like Andrew Luck has been pseudo quietly having an incredibly good year. Like,
Yeah.
he's almost, it's almost in line with his best year ever, where
Yeah.
he's got 4,500 yards, 39 touchdowns, and 15 picks. Like, he is looking really good after that injury finally coming back and playing again. Like, you got to keep in mind, this guy hasn't played in 2 years. I mean, he's definitely going to be comeback player of the year after this record, right? I mean,
I'd say so.
Well, yeah, especially after they made the playoffs now.
yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, he's blowing. Another spooky team, honestly, is the
Like
is
there
the
were,
Colts.
yeah. I mean, people had the Colts as like a bottom 5 team, like some of the starting of the season power rankings.
Yep.
Like really
Well,
bad.
they weren't doing much for a majority of the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then they had that run.
Yeah, but Luck, I
Yeah.
mean, Luck's really turning them around, and as Rob said, they're just blowing all the spooky teams,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
just blowing them all.
Some new breaking news coming in. Nathan Peterman has gotten a reserve future contract with the Oakland Raiders.
Let's go.
Let's go, boys.
Let's actually
The return, the return.
He would be the only better redemption arc than Nick Foles.
He really would.
Is Nathan Peterman. Oh man, I hope he gets a Super Bowl one day. That'd be amazing.
I hope he gets a playoff berth one day. I'll take anything. A win. A win.
A win would be good.
Yeah.
Also, Coach, another breaking news just popping out here. Lions part way with offensive coordinator Jim Bob Cooter.
The most
rip the
southern
coot.
name in the business. Jim
Jim
Bob
Bob
Cooter.
Cooter.
James Robert Vagina.
He's done
Yep.
in Detroit, Coach. He's officially done.
Yeah.
I think that's for the better. Honestly, Detroit hasn't been that great on offense.
Just so we could say his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Watch
head-
it be like Jim Bob Cooter interviews for a head coaching job of Buccaneers or like, Lincoln Riley also signs extension with Oklahoma, so he's not going to the NFL.
Fuck. All
Wow,
right.
Yep.
that's kind of big.
Yeah.
Yep, that
a big
is
deal.
big. Zach Martin returning to the playoffs for the Cowboys, which is actually really good because he's an all-pro offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
So some big news coming in there.
Been around
And
for a while too.
Sinvicta, do we have power rankings?
We do have power rankings, Coach Crendor, going on into the playoffs. This is the final power rankings, Coach, of the 2018
Ooh.
season. And
Let's
we're
go.
just going to speed by these really quickly because I only got like 5 minutes left before I got to go.
All right.
So, top 3, Coach, take it away. 1, 2, 3.
Give me the Saints.
That's number 1, Coach.
Give me the Chiefs.
Incorrect, Coach. Chiefs are not in the
Oh!
top 3.
What?
Rob, can you guess the other 2? Can you guess the number 2 is going to really throw you off?
Is it the Rams?
It is not the Rams, Rob. It is
What?
the Chicago Bears. They have
no.
moved
Okay.
and stayed in the second position for 2 weeks in a row, Rob. This is not
That's weird. How the number
arguable.
2 team not get a bye week?
This is not an arguable offense. This is the Bible of the internet, Coach. Number 1, Saints. Number 2, Bears. The Rams sitting at the 3rd position with the Chiefs and the New England Patriots, rounding out the
What?
top 5.
Okay.
Sure.
The Chargers are not there, but the Patriots are?
Well, I'll give you one better here, Rob. One team actually has, even despite winning their game and going into the playoffs in convincing fashion with an exciting, electrifying, I would dare say, rookie quarterback, has actually dropped a spot, Rob. They went from 5 to 6. The Baltimore Ravens have slid into the 6th position because that's what happens when you go up against the Browns. If you get a close game, you lose a ranking. That's how good the Browns are. And the San Diego, LA Superchargers of Las Vegas, also, despite winning, have also fallen from 6th to 7th. So
Fuck NFL. Come on.
so there you go on that one now. And here we go with the most important one of the day, Coach. This is the pick of the day.
All right.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Which team has moved up the most in the NFL for the final week of the NFL Power Rankings on the NFL.com PowerRankings.com? Coach Crendor.
Just
I'll give
looking
you
at
a
all the
hint.
teams,
I'll give you a hint. They won.
I would say the Falcons.
Robert?
Seahawks.
The answer is the Carolina Panthers have moved
Oh.
from the 27th spot to the 24th spot because apparently even just being in the same place as the number one New Orleans Saints gets you an extra couple of ranking jumps.
Sure, why not?
To round out the bottom three here, Coach, just because it's just going to be a blast. True or false? Yep. True or false? Rob and Coach, the Buccaneers are ranked in the bottom three of the entire NFL.
False.
True.
Is false. The Buccaneers have actually surprisingly risen 2 spots. Because that's what happens when they play a winning team, I guess, to the 27th spot. The bottom 3 in order: Jacksonville Jaguars, New York Jets, and the lowly Arizona Cardinals finishing it. And that is the power rankings, the final power rankings. Coach, it's been an awesome season. Pleasure to be here. And I know that everyone's looking forward to next season, Coach. We'll get them good next season.
Yep, I can't wait for those top tier power rankings from NFL.com again.
For me to just read someone else's power rankings.
Listen, it's entertainment. It makes it so.
Hey, I try to make it fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's pick these playoff games because we got 4 of them.
Woo!
Buckle up, folks. First up, first game of the week,
weekend.
I believe. Colts at Texans.
All of these games are going to be really tough to call, I think, man. Every single one.
Look, someone who lives in Houston, has been here for a while now. Houston teams have a little bit of notoriety for choking in the playoffs and postseasons.
Yeah.
But I don't see any way that they lose this game to the Colts. The Colts, while surprising and definitely having a really good run towards the end of the season, they're still not as good as the Texans, I don't think. Even though I'm still not convinced about the Texans, even though they've like destroyed most people. They also are one of the cases of Jekyll and Hyde. You just don't know if that defense is going to show up and play, or if they're just going to be like, oh, JJ Watt.
Yeah.
It's they played each other like a month ago, and it was 24-21 Colts in Houston.
Yep.
So it's a close game.
That's what I'm saying. And I mean, as good as Luck has been, let's be honest, the Colts don't have that electrifying of an offense.
Yeah.
And the Texans defense struggled against them.
I mean, T.Y. Hilton is one of the best receivers in the league.
T.Y. Hilton, I think, is their offense. He's like their Devontae Adams.
That's about it, though, is the thing.
No, because Eric Ebron also has been a fucking monster this year.
Yeah, that's true. Ebron does have 13 touchdowns.
Yeah, like he came out of nowhere and has had like a career renaissance. So he's also a matchup issue.
It's pronounced Zach Efron.
So I'm gonna flip the bottle cap.
Oh, he's flipping it.
We are going Colts.
Wow.
I'm taking the Colts too, and mainly because the Houston passing defense is ranked 28th. Yeah, so I think Luck is going to feast, and I think this might end up being a shootout. And I think Luck wins in a shootout, but it is going to be close.
Well, I've got the Texans just because I think they're just a better team.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean, they are at home too.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be close. We'll see.
Yeah,
I know how hungry the Texans are for a playoff win. So
Yeah, and they actually have a real quarterback this time.
Yep.
So that's pretty neat. Here's a good one: Chargers Ravens.
I think the Ravens are going to destroy them.
You skipped ahead. You skipped the other Saturday game.
Well, I was doing the AFC and the
first.
NFC.
Oh, that's a smart move.
Yeah. They just played each other a few weeks ago. In fact, the Ravens won 22-10 in the Chargers Stadium, which is not really home field. It's just kind of neutral field.
Yep.
And now they're in Baltimore. So
See, I
gotta think the Ravens, man.
Yeah, I just think this is going to be the bigger margins of all the games this weekend. I think that the Ravens are just going to absolutely destroy them.
Really?
Their defense is just too good.
Yeah,
Their defense is really good. I mean, I'm going to be rooting for the Ravens, so I might as well pick them. But
Yeah.
It would like
That's sound reasoning as any, Rob.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say though, like there is a part of me that is sad that Phillip Rivers has never had playoff success, and it would be a major bummer if the team went 12-4, ended up in the fucking wild card, and then did a one and done against the Ravens. Like
Sounds
that,
like the Chargers.
That
to be
sounds like
honest.
Phillip Rivers, honestly.
It absolutely does, and I'm sad that might be what's happening here again.
Yeah.
So we're all going Ravens then.
I'm going Ravens.
We
yeah.
should probably mention
Yeah.
that Bear is not here, by the way.
Oh yeah, if you couldn't tell,
True,
he's not here. Yeah, Melvin Gordon last game, 41 yards against the Ravens. Rivers,
Yeah.
2 interceptions, no touchdowns. So I'm that running game, dude. Like when you have a good quarterback, all right, as somebody who's watched good quarterbacks for my entire life,
Yeah,
and the
we
other
got it
team
there, all right. Got it.
just gets the ball, plays defense, and just runs the clock. It is the most infuriating thing because you're like, I just want to watch Aaron Rodgers. I want to watch Brett Favre. And they're just like, control the clock, control the game. And you're
Yeah.
just like, duh. But it wins. So the Ravens are going to do that, and it's going to infuriate teams like the Chargers or even the Chiefs if they play them, or like all these teams. So that'll
Chargers
be interesting.
defense is no slouch though, so that
Yeah.
that might be rough for the Ravens too. Have they played any good defenses so far? The Ravens with Lamar Jackson.
I don't know. Let's see. They lost to the Chiefs. They beat
That's pretty much the worst defense in
the
football.
Browns. The Browns are probably the best defense they've played against, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like looking back at all these games, wow, yeah, they
Yeah, I
have
don't
not
know.
really played a. They played against the Titans, I guess, which is good defense. But even then, I don't know. Browns are good. I don't know.
And that was Flacco too. So this is the first time against the top 10 defense for a while now. So
Yeah,
it might
But
be
even then,
might-
they played the Chargers, and they
true. Yeah.
like, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
the biggest test for the Ravens, if they do win this game, would be the second round. Like that's gonna be rough against either the Patriots or Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yep.
so
Yep.
Next up, we have the that Big Dick Nick Eagles in the Chicago Bears Stadium.
Oh baby.
I'm ready, man.
I'm sorry, titty kisser. I'm taking Big Dick Nick. It's happening.
I, as an NFC North person, must pick against the Bears and the hype of Big Dick Nick. I'm all aboard. Let's go. 2 in a row.
I gotta pick the Bears, Coach. I'm sorry, all you
Yeah.
Nick fans out there.
I mean, it's still a
can't-
good pick.
Yeah.
I just can't pick over the Bears at home.
I mean,
Yeah.
on paper, there's
That
no way
defense.
the Bears should lose this game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's.
Straight up.
yeah.
But it's the magic of Nick Foles.
He's got me magic on his side. He
Like, this is
cannot
the
lose.
team. They've won 3 in a row. They've had the unthinkable happen of the Vikings not making it and losing out. This is their chance.
Yeah.
They were done a month ago. They were done. And now
Done.
they're here.
I will also say that like this is the game I'm least invested in. So
This is the game I'm most invested in.
Yeah.
I need to see Big Dick Nick kill Tom Brady in the playoffs in the Super
I
Bowl.
think if the Eagles can get in front fast and put the pressure on the Bears offense and Trubisky, I think that's what they got to do. They can't get behind. Once you get behind, the Bears will just choke you out.
yeah,
you're done.
Yeah, that defense is gonna lock it up.
that's
Yeah.
absolutely true. Yeah.
They gotta
So-
surprise them, but I still pick the Bears.
Yeah. And then what I think is probably as close as the Texans Colts is the Seahawks Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I got to look at some more stats for this one. I honestly don't know.
The only reason why I'm even invested in this one than the other ones is because A, I hate both of these teams,
Yeah.
and
I do
B,
too.
there's no clear winner here because I hate both of these teams. But
Yes.
I go through and try to say like, who do I want most to get destroyed by the Rams? And I think the answer is the Cowboys. So I'm going
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Okay.
I'm going Cowboys too because they're at home, and I just really don't like Seattle.
Yeah, I don't either.
And yeah, so I think I think the Seahawks could actually beat the Rams, so I'd rather the Cowboys get there and then get crushed by the Rams.
I'm looking. I think
Rob has seen a stat, Coach. He's seen a stat.
it's so hard to pick because the Seahawks are actually the number 1 ranked rushing team this year, by the way. However, the Cowboys defense is number 5 ranked rushing defense this year. So it kind of like that might just like negate each other. And then what? Well, okay, hold on. I need to
You have 30
Let me
seconds.
just
to make your-
square root of 45 equals 20.
Carry the
Okay,
6,
carry
and then
divide by 10.
you know what? I'm gonna take the Cowboys, but I don't know, man. This is gonna be anything. I couldn't tell you. I can tell you who's gonna win
Honestly,
this one.
I'd probably pick the Seahawks if I didn't hate both these teams.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm taking the Cowboys because I still think the Seahawks can pull it out. It's going to be close. And then this is, by the way, let's get a fresh slate for these pick'ems. This is like the playoff pick'ems. Fresh slate. Everything's clear.
Clean off
Yeah.
Yep. And let's get a lock.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want to pop a lock on there?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we kind of have to. So
yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So before we do the locks, really quickly, Coach, the final stats going into the final week here. Week 17, I ended again. I want to tout that 82% win percentage there.
Yeah.
Bear was second with 76. Krendor was third with 74, and Rob had 71% for week 17. The final totals for the entire season: Bear questionably should be ranked at number 1 because he was only here for like half the time.
Arguable. Yeah.
At 69.6%. Rob finishing at 61.7, and myself finishing at 61.5, and Coach Krendor finishing at 60% flat. So again, thank you to Hippo Nora for just arbitrarily volunteered to do this, and he also made a fancy line track for
And
anyone
doing the
who
Lord's
wins
work.
those.
Since you rushed through that a little bit, I just want to drive home that I was the winner. I just want everyone to know.
Well, you see,
I
Rob,
had the most wins.
here's the thing, though, is that I locked the Browns in 4 weeks in a row. Okay, and I also
And you got paid. You got paid back for that. You got.
I also would like to mention that one Robert Alpaca Patrol give me the same voice as the other two guys. Robert Alpaca Patrol took 0 ties for the entire season.
That is true.
Correct.
0 ties.
Yeah. And I'll be
0
honest with
ties.
you. You guys got a little bit ahead on those ties, if I'm going to be honest, because you get that tie win anyway, whether they tie or not, which I find a little BS.
Well, I also could have gotten some wins from those ties.
Yeah.
You never really
You
know.
could
okay?
have, or you
All
could
I
have got a
needed
loss.
That's the whole point of a tie. Is it negates both the options.
All I needed was one of those wins, and I would have beaten you, or at least at the very least tied with you. But
Well, didn't happen though.
yeah,
You picked the
Yeah.
tie.
So there you go. Lock
There
him
it
in,
is.
Coach. Lock him in because we got to
Lock
go.
them in. All right. Yep. Let's lock in. I'm locking in the Ravens, and we can all lock in similar teams because really,
Yeah, it's
4
4
games.
games.
so-
Yeah.
It's gonna get less and less
Yeah.
too. You know, so.
Yeah.
I am locking in Big Dick Nick.
He's
doing it. He's doing it.
Wow.
He's making a run. He's dragging his dick through the playoffs and cock slapping every single QB in the face. It's gonna be amazing. Can't wait.
Well, I will lock in the Texans just because even though we said we didn't have to lock in different teams, we did anyway. So
Yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
thank
Hey,
you for
works
thank you for the 2018 season, Coach. It's been a pleasure.
It's been fun, and next year we'll actually have a week 1 and drafts and stuff.
And maybe
but
maybe
yeah.
even a song, Coach.
Maybe even a song. We'll see.
Or
I
a
mean-
thumbnail.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
a thumbnail. Who knows?
Or a thumbnail, or a real name for a show.
Yeah, maybe.
No, we
It's
got
all
to
possible.
keep the name. That's the only thing that I
Yeah,
want.
we got to keep
I
that.
like
Even
the
if we had like 10 people on this thing, it would still be called 3 Guys Talk About
Yeah.
Football.
I mean, we already started with like the most ridiculous name possible. Then Bear showed up,
just
and I was like,
perfect.
"Well, obviously, it's got to be 3 Guys and a Bear." And then that's the name that we went with for the entire season.
Well, what I've started doing is if he's here, I put and a bear. If he's not, I just put 3 guys. It's a foolproof method.
Okay, that is
Yeah.
foolproof.
so what do we do about
There's
what do we do
no
about
proof by
shirts?
that.
what do we do about shirts then, Coach? When the time
Have
comes?
alternate jerseys, get our Nike
Yeah,
color
alternate
rush.
jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll double up. So, hey,
All right.
thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes.
By the way, before you continue this outro, we are gonna still be making these.
Yeah. This is
we're
like the
making it
last
sound like
episode.
this. Like, yeah, no, we're still
No,
going.
it's the last of the
We're gonna be-
season. We're
last
still
of the
going to be
regular
talking
season.
about.
Yeah.
We're going to be
We're
talking about the playoffs and Super Bowl and stuff.
Yeah.
Like pick our teams. Like, all right, see you later.
See you later. Bye.
Yeah. So we're still doing these for the playoffs, and then we're still doing draft episodes, and
And then we'll have a postseason or a preseason summer special.
Yeah, we'll do stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. So there'll still be a lot of episodes. So
Thanks
hey,
for listening, everyone.
thanks for listening to us rant. That's really the main reason we started this, so we could rant, and we sure did. And so yeah, check it out. YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. I already said that. Probably Spotify at some point. Three guys talking about football. Just put it in Google. It'll pop up. If you enjoy hearing us talk about an NFL penalty rule for 25 minutes of last week's episode, it is fantastic. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
That's not the
Can't-
thing.
you
By
can't
the
end
way,
it with
12
the
men on the
start.
field is a fine call.